You're listening to the podcast, version 2.0 and beyond.
So it's often said that people who go through tough times in life come out as massive winners. And I've met a lot of people who have had a series of successes. I've met a lot of people who have had failures. And few people I really, really admire. Edward Zia is one of those people. His life story has been nothing short of a massive inspiration. He's currently a marketing genius and is using his passion for marketing to impact people and businesses for massively profitable growth. What stands out about Edward is that he actually started off in army life in Australia. He has an incredible grit and indomitable spirit, and that made him move to States completely on his own in an early age. He has survived homelessness and spent 1 year at DY Beach, and he came out of all of that to set up a very successful business. One thing that I have seen about him over the last 1 year since I've followed and attended a few of his meetups is that he's always ever present, very passionate, very honest, very sincere, and often actually giving with all his might. He organizes meetups every 2 weeks, and he's also the Australian point of contact for all the meetups in Australia. All in all, I'm really pleased to have you here, Edward, with us. And I'm sure this session is going to be really inspiring and helpful for our viewers.
It's a pleasure, Kapil, and great to be here.
So, Edward, I think, look, while I have spoken a bit about you, I'm sure there are other things in your life which, in a very introductory sense, will make a big difference to people as to let them know who you are and what you do.
Exactly. So I suppose the simple answer is I've been around for a long time. I love helping entrepreneurs get better at sales and marketing. And it's funny, actually, I was actually thinking about this on the way up here. One thing that I love doing is I love talking to incredible people like you. And my whole thing is giving people as much practical inspiration as possible. To me, it's very important because if you're just saying stuff, it doesn't matter. You got to give ideas that mean stuff. What do you think, Kapil?
Oh, look, absolutely. I think, as it says, no man is an island. And what we are is actually the connecting, part of connecting continents. So if you are, it's not possible for anybody to be successful in life, and whichever way they define success, unless they are actually sharing, and giving becomes a very big part of it.
Exactly. And you know what? The other thing I think as well that's fascinating, Kapil, is that it's very interesting. I was actually doing a video on this morning as I was coming through Darling Harbour. And you know what I found is there's so much misinformation out there. I tell you what, over the past few months, I've really taken off on LinkedIn. And every day I'm disproving some junk that I was told 6 months ago. It was the election on Saturday, the big Australian election. We won. We absolutely won, which was awesome. Go Liberal, right? Even though I'm wearing a red shirt, which is the opposition. But we're actually the blue guys. Forget my shirt for the moment. What I find fascinating is that it's very important to have a great diversity of thought and ideas, because I find that a lot of people like surrounding themselves with people who just agree with them. They're like building their own little bubble where they're insulated from reality. I think it's the worst thing you can do in business. I think the opposite is true. You need to be with people that disagree with you to help you get the best ideas possible so you can become as successful as one can be.
Yeah, so true. I completely agree with that. One of the things I completely believe in, that people who are achieving greatness, on their way to greatness and already great, they have had significant amount of clarity in their life in terms of what their philosophy of life is. So would love for the viewers to actually know about your philosophy of life. What drives you in life?
Well, that's a great question. I've never been asked it so beautifully, Kapil, but I'll tell you some of the things that really drive me. One thing is that I'm a Christian. So, a lot of my, spiritual beliefs drive me in terms of, Jesus, helping people. That's one component. The other component is the importance of helping people and helping everyone succeed. So way before I was a Christian, I was already, forget Christianity and all that for the moment, I was already thinking that way. I was starting to think, you know what, materialism is not going to help me in this world. If I just run around trying to make money, this is going to be a very shallow, unhappy existence. And after I die, so what? And I kind of had a real spiritual revelation in my mid-20s. And to me, what's very important is that I kind of decided in my 30s and that, is that I want to become, don't worry, I'm a Persian guy from Parramatta, so I want to make lots of money and all that. I'm a capitalist, don't get me wrong. But I want to do it in such a way of helping people and helping the community around me. And to me, when you approach life with that help type of mindset, life actually becomes a lot more rewarding, which actually explains my passion. Because here's the point. I'll give you another interesting point. One of my friends on LinkedIn, she gets trolled a lot. And it's sort of getting to her. She wants to quit LinkedIn, and I was sort of pulling her back from the ledge before, right? You know what was funny? Sometimes on LinkedIn, I get seen over 50,000 times a day. I never get trolled on LinkedIn. And I think the simple matter of fact is that when you're putting out positivity all the time, it's very hard to get trolled. It's very hard for anything to react poorly to that one.
Isn't it also difficult because if you're putting all the positivity, then you're also not beating the usual way of thinking, as you mentioned, that some of the things which are people have a belief and you have to break that belief. So how do you do it very positively, Edward? Because I've seen your post and you do it positively, but there's an art to it. You pass difficult messages quite effectively. How do you do that?
Yes, what do you do? So when I deal with a negative, to me, you deal with it from a positive viewpoint, right? So the worst thing you can do is do a video on LinkedIn or whatever platform. I'm a LinkedIn guy, but Facebook, Insta, whatever you're into, right? Whatever platform. But it's very hard. If you just do a video just talking about negativity, people aren't going to like it. And you're going to get friction. You're going to get people pushing back. It's not a good thing, right? Not a good thing. However, Kapil, what's interesting is that when you deal with a negative idea with a solution viewpoint, it's very easy to do it. So a common way that I do it is I talk about what I've been through and how I've resolved it. So minor point, but just to illustrate, for example, I've lost about 25 kilos over the past couple of years, right? It's been great. So I don't sit there and say, you're fat and you need to lose weight, fatty, fatty, fatty. I don't say that, right? That's really mean. I don't mean that. I'll say, hey, look, I used to be quite overweight. This is what I did to lose the weight. And here are some of my experiences. And I find when you share from experience first, it's very persuasive, but it's also very positive. And also you are dealing with negative issues and no one can turn around and accuse you of making stuff up. It's sort of like, because I'm talking from my experience, I'm telling the truth. And B, I can back it up when people ask questions or counterpoint me.
So just want to move on to your meetups. I know when you started off, there were 3 people, if I remember. I was in one of your meetups and you shared that story. There are 3 people who started off and that has grown to over 100 people now. And there are so many people attending it now. I don't know the count. Yeah, the count has been to 200 or not right now. But so what has that journey been like, and how have you continued to engage people?
Just to give some context to the viewers, Meetup is a big online community platform which is owned by WeWork. Okay, so Meetup's full of all groups, just for the sake of the audience. So what happened was I played with the Meetup platform for a long time, but I only started getting good at it maybe about 2 and a bit years ago. So what I originally came up with was I came up with this concept where it's just going to be a few of us, maybe 5 to 10 people. We're just going to catch up every fortnight and just sit in the corner of a cafe or a bar or whatever and just talk about stuff and just share marketing ideas. And my first one had 3 people. And what I did was that because I just did such a very good job, it sort of just kept growing. It went from 3 to 5, then it went to 8, then it went to 10, then it went back to 5. And then it started getting to 20 people. And the venue then kicked us out and started getting really angry with us because there were too many people, right? So they're really weird. Like all these people were coming in and buying food and drinks. And they're like, how dare you bring in people to buy food and drinks at our venue? You slime bag, and you get out of here. It's crazy, right? It's weirdo. It's like we're all spending money and they threw us out because we're like spending money. It's like, anyway. So anyway, found it. So over time, basically found different venues, and eventually, when WeWork, which is a big property company where I am now, and I'm drinking coffee out of their cup, that's where I'm actually am right now. What was interesting is that they then bought Meetup, so then I could start hosting my Meetup events at WeWork properties. So that just helped me explode because it's beautiful, beautiful premises. They're all over the place and just looks great. So I sort of went from like 20 to sometimes 100. Our biggest Meetups had 120 people. Quiet days, 50. But what's interesting though is I run them every fortnight. I actually don't do much work marketing them. Other than just emailing the database, I actually don't market them. They sort of market themselves, which is great.
Oh, that's really good. That's very good. So I want to move a little bit to your past. Surviving the homelessness, moving to states. Still, yours a bit about that. I'm sure there's some interesting, inspiring stories in there which people could actually relate to, and then get out of their own issues in their own heads to become a better version of themselves.
Yes, but basically where it all started was, so I was in my 20s, finished the military, got injured, as I do, went to corporate, did really well. What happened to me? My life just wasn't working out in my late 20s. I had a few problems with mental illness, PTSD from my military days, and I was just really unhappy. It's just my life was just not going in the direction that I wanted. And what happened is that I made a few bad decisions, entered a few bad relationships, and ended up falling flat on my face during about 10 years ago. It was a global financial crisis, and that affected a lot of people pretty badly, me included. And what happened was I made a lot of mistakes, ended up having no money, and I ended up saying, my life isn't working. I need to start again. And I actually started a long journey. I was actually in Hobart at the time, right? Had a very successful job there before all this happened. And then I eventually made the journey up to Sydney. And I was actually a vagabond living in my car. And it was quite funny. And I ended up I ended up moving to our DY Beach, actually. So just for the sake of this, DY Beach is this beautiful suburb, this sort of local beachy suburb in the northern beaches of Sydney. And I said, if I want to be homeless, I want to be homeless in style. That was awesome, right? And so I became a bit of a homeless vagabond living in my car on DY Beach, and I eventually decided I want to be some kind of coach, and I like marketing. So I put myself out there as a marketing coach, and that really helped me over the years. A lot of hard work, mind you, but that just slowly built over the years.
Awesome. So in this journey, are there some people that you believe, I'm sure there are a lot of people who you would have worked with and would have had mentors and coaches. So are there some people that you would like to acknowledge in this discussion?
Oh yeah, a lot of my mentors and my family and friends. So firstly, my awesome wife, Lassie, who's incredible. She's been very supportive of it, has also known her for a few years. Brad Burton, who's one of my mentors in the UK. Stefan Thomas, who's a legend. Matt Craig, who's an online expert. Simona, my finance mentor. I've got, and Pat, the PT, who helped me lose the weight. So there's a queue. I've missed a lot, and a lot of them are going to be very angry at me when I hear this, but I just want to say that they're all awesome. But there are quite a few ones, because I suppose what it is that I've had quite a few different mentors at different times come into my life to help give me the knowledge that I need to thrive and be successful.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. So slightly moving on, talking a little bit more about your personal life. You are an introvert, and personality. Yeah, personality traits can be a very limiting factor for a lot of people. It's like people say, "Oh, I'm an introvert, so I can't do certain things." "Oh, I'm an extrovert, so I can't do certain things." Now, how have you converted that into a strength? And because you're present, you have a massive presence, you have a charisma when you talk to people.
A lot of people think I'm an introvert, which means I can't talk to people, and I'm an extrovert, which means I'm awesome with people. Completely untrue. It's just crazy thought. It's just not true, right? Because I'll give you an example. You can meet an introvert who's a fairly quiet sort of character, who's awesome, that can listen and can sell a lot. And you can meet an extrovert that just does this all day and is annoying like, fingernails down a blackboard that doesn't get anywhere. Introversion and extroversion is more how people recharge. It's basically Friday night, no responsibilities. If you want to go out and see people, you're probably an extrovert. If you want to do your own thing, you're probably an extrovert. Again, not definitive, it's a rough test. But the other myth is that extroverts can sell better. Well, it's not true. Introvert or extrovert, that's not relevant. And by the way, I'm not bashing extroverts. I think extroverts are awesome, right? But the thing is that extroverts can bring a lot of energy to situations, which is wonderful. Introverts can be some of the best listeners ever. And you would know this, and so would our viewers. To be good at selling, you have to be very good at listening and understanding.
Yeah. So, which brings us to the business that you have in terms of being a marketing mentor. Talk a bit about it. I want to make sure that the viewers actually know, and then also your contact details will get and put it at the bottom so people can contact you.
So I'm quite big on LinkedIn, so anyone feel free to friend me on LinkedIn. Easiest way to go. I'm a marketing mentor and coach. I I've got my online mentoring program. I run workshops. I do personal mentoring. Yeah, here to help lots of people. I also help run Meetup across Sydney and support WeWork across Australia.
So one of the last thing I wanted to also check out is that, can you tell a story which you have probably not shared before, something which will inspire people?
A story which I've never shared before that will probably inspire people.
Yes.
Wow, that's a good one. A story that actually inspired me was actually a Russell Crowe film. I'm a big Russell Crowe fan. I like Russell Crowe. Yeah, actually, every now and then, if I'm around the city late at night, if you're near Darlinghurst or Oxford Street, that's where Russell Crowe always goes for a walk. He's a tall guy, by the way.
Okay.
It was actually the film Cinderella Man that I watched with Russell Crowe. And I don't know if you've seen it, but I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen the film Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe, he actually plays a New Yorkan and he does the accent really well. Anyway, what basically the premise of the film is, I can't remember the whole plot. Basically, ends up during the Depression, runs out of money, loses his children, so he can't afford to feed them. And he ends up becoming a boxer. And basically, if he wins boxing fights, he can get money to get his children back. So basically, when he fights in that film, he's fighting to get his children back, where the other characters in it are basically just fighting for money. And he ends up winning, of course, because it's Russell Crowe. But the thing that really touched me about that film, especially when I had children, was that you got to sort of know what you're fighting for. You got to know what you're really connected to, and you got to really know what you're trying to do. And the thing that really inspired me about that film, it got me thinking on a really deep level about my passions and what drives me. Now, I was single at the time before my wonderful wife and had children. And what's been fascinating is that, and I haven't actually told anyone this, which is good. As I had children, I keep thinking about that Russell Crowe film, Cinderella Man, in that, wow, if I fail, my children and family lose. So having the wife and children, it sort of stacks your motivation. It's made me feel more positive about my work and made me more get into it. I used to be motivated, but now I'm super motivated because I've got wife and children. So it's funny how that responsibility tends to stack. And it certainly made me more effective in that regard. Very good.
That is inspiring. That is amazing. I love that story. And I actually have not seen the movie, but I am going to watch it for sure. Well, this is fantastic. Edward, this has been really, really good. And I think the last story just really nails it very well for me. Thank you so much for coming on this. Really appreciate your time. I know it's a Monday morning, early morning, and you've got tons to do, but that's really good. Thank you.
Drink most of my coffee. It's good.
Awesome.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Love your work. Thank you, everyone. And you stay awesome and you so rock.
Thank you. That's great. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.